and also just start recording. Someone has just started. Very good. So we'll enjoy the drill together. Welcome back. Really nice start to this retreat of spiritual experiences. Looking forward to going into the depth of what we know and making it a reality. So, going to welcome Prashant. You may need to unmute. There. You should be able to unmute now.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Excellent. Hello and welcome back. Very nice meeting again, and appreciate choosing this weekend for experience, Anubhuti. And let us start. We have already started. Baptada has started practice, and let us create 1 more minute right now, just of concentration. And our huge emphasis is on the soul. So let us create this 1 minute where we are just seeing a soul with concentration. In our own idea of the soul, it may be the image of a presence, maybe image of a point. Understand that this presence is the true form, self. And aware that this point is eternal. This is the essence. This is the central thing. We are talking about self. Thank you. I'll read some passages from Murli's where Baba is, advising, building on the subject of experience in yoga. But let us start with a quick orientation, reminder of few things. I will be using the whiteboard. Maybe I will need a permission to use a whiteboard. Yes, excellent. And we are seeing why this meditation, what exactly we are trying to achieve during these practices. There are so many kinds of meditation practices in this world. What is the uniqueness of this? And is there anything similar? Can we mix these different practices? Now let us first try and understand our situation, first the diagnosis, what is going on. The knowledge tells us that there is a big world of all of us, supreme world. This is a home. And in this world is the true family. And they are noble. Even as we are talking, try and get a experience of this. So there is this true home somewhere, and there is a true family there, and this is a family of souls. They are alokik. We define the word alokik, and we will use it with that meaning. Alokik, we are using it with the meaning which is spiritual, we'll use this word quite a lot. It is invisible. It is divine. The dimension is divine. There is nothing inauspicious. It is eternal. So when we are using the word alokik, we are using it with this meaning. It's a dimension that exists beyond the gross. So we are seeing here that knowledge tells us that there is this alokik dimension in which there are souls, that is a family, true home, true family. There are true treasures. We'll come to this subject of treasures. Why treasures? But enough to know that bliss and peace and immortality, security, this is the most refined treasure. And this is a home where there is immortality, security, peace. It's a home of the family, loving family. So there are treasures. There's the true father. So it is the home of the father, home of the family, home. It's the home of treasures. What else is here in this dimension? The true self. True self is also here. Knowledge tells us that this dimension exists. And there is a but. But this dimension is as if there is a blackout and it is in darkness. So whole world, we are talking about 8 billions of us. How many of them are aware that they have a supreme home and there is true family? And they not only can't see it, they have forgotten about this. And then we are saying there is a little drama going on here. Drama is drama. It can be Harry Potter drama going on. There is lots of light there. Full shine is over there. And you can see that, details and details of that Harry Potter, but you can't see the home, you can't see the true family, you can't see yourself. This is our present scenario. And we all are so caught into this drama, and we are not only caught, there is absurdity. We are fighting for it and creating ego based on this Harry Potter and obsessed with it, singing songs. And we are completely ignoring the whole of this dimension, alokik dimension, including ourselves. This is the scenario. This absurdity is so deep that even if it is told, you have to discover your family, they can't even understand this. They can't even begin to understand. Because in this madness, Ravan takes birth. And Ravan with its 10 heads are absolutely trapped in that drama. Different things is trapped. And Ravan wants to survive. So he may suffer, but he doesn't want to die. So this is the situation we are in. Even knowledge we might hear, but there is Ravan. Ravan wants to survive. Ravan wants to make that story big, keeps thinking about this. So I'm just positioning. Good for us to see the map, what exactly is going on. Where do we break out of this? We start with the best intellect. That is where the hope is. Best intellect, best sight. So when we use the word paras, we are meaning with that awareness. Best intellect, and that can see clearly. So paras includes divine intellect, divine sight. And now we are able to at least see the complete picture. In Patthar, with stone intellect, we can't even understand anything beyond my little obsession. I want a little better hat. This is what the obsession of Patthar. Whereas Paras, we can see now clearly what is happening. It is like bringing light. We said there is a blackout. We are bringing light. And each time you are shining light in this alokik dimension, you are a winner. That is our meditation. In one form, other form, you are shining light on the soul. You are seeing others as souls. You are seeing God. You are experiencing the home. In every different cluster of practices we are adopting. Baba's style is this. It is not just one chanting a mantra or something. Cluster of practices. One complements the other. But we have to go on that alokik side. The difficulty we will have is that the Ravan means there are this ego within it. Ego will also try to imitate what you are practicing, and you are kept back in the Harry Potter. The thoughts are of the drama. So you will notice some of this, transmission. Baba is speaking. Baba emphasizes, for 1 minute even, stop the thoughts of the drama. Nothing will come to a halt if you don't think of the drama. It is the ego that is obsessed with the drama. In different thoughts, the cyclical thoughts, that is non-stop. How much do we achieve in the drama, and how much thoughts in the mind is full-time. 10 heads of Ravan are busy with this mind. So let us start now, and let us go for this best practice, best experience, best intellect. So the best intellect, we are starting with the paras. So wherever we are, see that our posture is comfortable. Within your limitations. It shouldn't be lying down or too comfortable, but meditation kind of posture, head raised. Some seriousness, strictness is necessary also in this. And when we are using paras, we are understanding on one side is a story. We really mean it. It is not metaphorical. This entire physical world is a story, no different to any other story. And Prashant is one character within that story. There are billions of other characters in that story. Stories like that, such a big stage, big stories, so much going on. But Paras helps us to come beyond the story. Even though it appears to be such an expanse of the story, Paras sees it as small. Story is story. It is not everything. we see it with low significance. And there is the real world beyond. And this real world is the world of light. World of complete silence. Our attention is there. Paras is able to help us see this dimension. We see this world in the image of a sky, world of light, aware that this world is timeless. In the story, there is everything as beginning, end, whereas the world beyond the story, our true world, real world, this is timeless, changeless, endless. We have just used by one intellect and game changes completely. We are now seeing our world, and in this world is the true family. They look like stars. They are immortal. True family. This is the world of the Father. Father is the one who is always awake. Father is name, one title for Father is Parasnath, one who is always Paras. One who is never deceived in that story. One always in light. So he is able to see the whole map clearly. He knows the home, he knows his immortality, he knows who he is. He is not in the blackout. You can see the drama at a distance as a drama. That's why he tells us that is a drama. He knows that everyone is safe, they all are immortal, and everything is fine. Drama has got a script, and that is on rails, and everyone is immortal and everyone is noble. Drama cannot harm them. When anyone feels everyone is good and everything is good, just this experience. Everyone is good and everything is good forever. He experiences the bliss of the soul. Supreme Father knows the bliss of the soul. Just by knowing this big truth. Here we are talking about God. See how easy it is to grasp the personality of God. All that was required was use the best intellect, use the best apparatus, and anything is possible. This environment, Paras environment, just as we are doing, creating light in this dimension, creating light. Our attention is like light. in this alokik dimension. This helps the soul to become conscious. And he discovers, anyone who is conscious discovers himself, discovers the true self, discovers himself as the true presence, invisible presence. Realizes his immortality and his existence in this supreme sky. When the soul is conscious, the sign that the soul is conscious, he clearly understands his independence from the story. This is a litmus test. Is the soul conscious or not? The test is there a complete independence from the story? Just as anyone might feel, he is independent from Harry Potter. Harry Potter, many things happening, it may finish, the episode finishes. That is, I'm free from it completely. It doesn't affect me at all. The soul that is conscious knows his independence from the story. It is in that direction. As was said, even this gathering is happening in the story. Prashant is within the story. The conscious soul sees himself as that presence, and he is independent, free. His world is different, alokik. Free means he needs nothing from the story, and he is not an extension of the story. He doesn't need to think of the story. He has his alokik reality complete. His world is complete. He got a home, he got a family, he got father, he got treasures. His world is independent. Alokik, subtle, eternal. We realize the truth is beautiful. Truth for everyone is immensely beautiful. They all got this. We are talking about immortality. They are not worried about corona vaccination. Their world is a world of eternity. World is eternal. They themselves are immortal. They are noble. Noble means there is no desires, no beggars, no mentality of a beggar or a victim. That story, many things happen in the story. They are never a victim, not even the slightest. Never a beggar. All are noble. That's why great family of God, but all belong to this family. We are seeing this life of this soul is with God, worthy to be loved by God. He is not praying to God, but he discovers the bond, eternal bond with God. He is seeing this. As he's seeing this, he's creating light, and that makes it easy for others to discover their truth, to break out of the spell. Otherwise, everyone is caught in that spell. As this eternal soul, the invisible presence, continues a journey. As he sees the physical world, he sees himself as an invisible traveler. Invisible traveler is the soul. Invisible soul is the invisible traveler, aware of the physical world, but as always, he is not part of it. He is independent. Just like a tourist. Tourist may visit a place and he comes out. So invisible traveler remains free, remains aware of his home, doesn't want to get stuck in the story world. He remains Paras. That is a protection. If he stays Paras, he won't forget. If he goes into Patthar intellect, stone intellect, then the game is gone. Then he gets stuck in the story. So he remains sensible, remains the invisible traveler, enjoys the sky, enjoys the earth. Enjoys the beautiful truth of the traveler. Thank you. So we, as always, we will create time for our, sharings, questions. Our aim is not just these few hours that we meet. We create awareness. These 3 days, treat them as a special days for you. Whatever is the awareness that is created, to maintain it all the time. We just are trying to become normal. It is not a meditation, but it is, we want to make it natural nature. So very happy if you want to say anything, ask anything.
Thank you. So, a couple of questions that came up. One from Uma. Is Ravan a real entity or a representation of the collective vices?
Not collective, but it is each person, each one of us. There is this very clear behavior pattern, and so beautifully we can personify it. This behavior, all these different heads, and they've all got a clear agenda. So Ravan with 10 heads, it is so beautifully personified, that personality. But in our discussion, of during the lessons, Sanjeevani lessons, it is covered. So those who have not heard it, it will be good to go through those lessons, recording of it, maybe.
Thank you. Sandhya had a question. Does the conscious soul see himself in action all the time?
Yes, Miss, of course, he's he is involved in the action and experiences. But we have seen in our different discussions today also, when we cross that line, instead of Paras, when we become Patha, then it is shut down. He does not even know who he is. The letter I is used for things in the Harry Potter. It is as ridiculous as that. So the real him is zombie. Just like a zombie is uh, thinking he's camel, or he's thinking he's something else, someone else. It is as absurd as that. The soul is unconscious, but still operating. But he believes that he's the body. He believes he's Mr. Freddy. So he's going around, in that state. So crossing that dotted line is life of ignorance, but on a big scale. And a good question, but understand the awareness is lost. True awareness is lost. That's why we're meaning right at the beginning. Good to know the diagnosis. What is happening here to ourselves and to others? So we are doing service, but we need to know what is the diagnosis first. We feel free to ask more if the subject is not
Yes, thank you. Meanwhile, Myra asked, could you please elaborate further on the personality of God?
sure. We have got some of these lessons, recordings also, and that will be good to go through those recordings and the basic Sanjeevani. But just knowing that someone is always Paras, we're saying just now, everyone else, all 8 billion of us, we have crossed a line and zombie. That's why God has to come to revive them, that kind of thing. He is the one who is always Paras, always. That makes him in that Father, one who is always in truth, always in light. He is not deceived. He doesn't cross the line. As a result, he can see what is happening to everyone, and what has happened, and what is potential of everyone. So anyone who stays in that space, he, as we were saying just now, that life is in truth, and life is in knowledge, and life in bliss and peace and secure. He sees the overall amazing truth of everyone. And all this suffering that exists in the world is for nothing. It is like a self-inflicted. They remain the souls, they remain safe, but they are all worrying about death. They are immortal, but whole life they are worrying about death. This is like the paradox of the of our copper age, iron age. So he sees this. That's why he knows little intervention, things can change completely. Say someone is a prince already, and he has forgotten he's a prince. It is so easy to make him eternal prince again. It is like that.
Yes, thank you. So another question from Roy. Could you say a little bit about the individual nature of souls? I think it's like the individuality.
All souls are like the Father. That's why in religions also there is a reference. We are made in the image of God. So that very much applies to the souls. Because God is soul, supreme soul. So there is very much similarity in the souls. They all are beings of peace and bliss and love, and their nature is the same. That, just like we all got nose and eyes and ears, just maybe little bit ratio is different, but we all got bodily level, roughly the similar things. In the same way, we all are made in the image of God. If there is any difference, the ratio, some are more loving, some are more peace, they are more gravitate towards that, some are gravitating towards happiness. The different potential of different power is different. And that expresses, once we come in the drama, it expresses that way. So some have got that potential to start in the golden age, and some come later. But I think the question Roy is asking, individuality, it is like a nice image someone gave. Green bird in a green forest. So the green bird goes into the green forest. From a distance, it appears, oh, he has become part of the forest. But when you come closer, green bird remains that green bird. When he comes out again out of the forest, it is the same green bird comes out of the forest. He doesn't become part of the forest. But seen with stone intellect, it appears he has become part of the forest. Seen with Paras intellect, the soul remains that individual soul always. That soul never disappears. He has a journey.
Thank you. Yeah, that's interesting. This individuality and expression. Would you like any other questions?
Yeah.
So Maria was asking, when we cross the line, narcissistic behavior, does it come about from certain souls who want control and power?
Sure. Once we cross the line, it is uncharted territory then, because you are not you are Ravan is in charge. It is just like, if you go, without exaggeration, if you go into a psychiatry ward, it is unpredictable how someone may be behaving, what he may do. It's unpredictable. Yet in this case, it is like that. By the standards of the soul, he literally is out of control. Ravan is in control. And different um, Ravan's heads, how they get bigger, how they become selfish. Ravan is not always, angry and behaving as a demon. Ravan just means helplessly selfish. He wants more. But if he can just smile and he gets what he wants, you may see him just smiling and with pleasantries and just be nice, and he gets what he wants. Only when he doesn't get that, then his other color comes. So when Shakespeare says, smile and be a villain, that he is talking about Ravan. So that is when we cross the line, it is Ravan's kingdom starts. And in that kingdom, ego is the king. In some cases, it may take a bigger form, and they may talk about, like some people may behave, which appears to be overtly arrogant. I am the best, this kind of language. Some may be more cunning and don't speak like that, but it is still Ravan there.
Yes, it's more complex.
And everyone has a potential to come out of it and become authentic, clean inside out, because they are angelic souls. But that's why, by the standard of angelic authenticity, at present everything is false.
Sandia was asking, do we lose Paras sight in the expansion of facilities, which was stated in yesterday's slogan in the morning reading? Is it one
Yeah.
way that we tend to lose our sight?
Yes. First we lose Paras, and then we get deceived. Facilities don't make us lose Paras, but there is a factor, just like with any, even your pen or any instrument, your car, if it is used, it stays in good condition. Our car, recently it was in garage, and the person told us it was not used much in the last 6 months. So when you are not using it much, the tires get damaged. Can you believe this? If you don't use the car much, car tires get damaged. If you use it, tires remain in good condition. So same with our intellect. Paras has to be used. The more you use it, it remains sharp and healthy. If Paras is not used, it becomes blunt. Not because there are facilities, not because the world outside is nice. That is not a reason. Paras can handle it all, but Paras need to be used.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting. And we have a question from Nicole. Sometimes it is said that the drama is wonderful entertainment, and sometimes that it is hell. Would you be able to expand on that a bit?
Sure. Drama is drama, and drama, sometimes there is a scenery of heaven. Another time there is a scenery of war. Another time there is a scenery of dragon. It is a great drama. Drama is a gift as it comes. So from the beginning till the end, drama is a gift. There may be scenery of heaven, scenery of hell. But then there is another level, the hell, it is our consciousness. As the Ravan gets bigger, beginning of Ravan's rule starts, it is already the beginning of hell. Ravan is bigger, he sees everything, he suffers in everything. So big Ravan, even if you give him heaven, he will suffer. And if Ravan is not there, you give him the extreme depths of hell, he will not suffer. He will see it as a drama. And that's why a nice poem by Milton, mind in its own place and of itself can create heaven of hell and hell of heaven. It is mind that creates heaven, hell. So one is this mind, what it is experiencing, but outside drama is awake soul has no complaints about anything. Everything is good, means right from beginning to end, and everyone is good.
Let's hope that answers the question. Maybe one more question from Roy. Are we seeing some sort of sense of purpose in the ongoing cyclical battle of good and evil?
At the immediate level, we have a purpose, and our purpose is to come out of this spell, come out of this, see what is happening. This big reality is in front of us, and we are not experiencing it. Others are not experiencing it either. The transmission that we heard, when Baba was speaking, Baba was referring to you are as like ancestor souls. So those who understand it, they have a responsibility to bring about a change, create light and make it easy for everyone else. So this is the purpose for us right now at the immediate level. And from that full awareness, clarity, full paras, we will understand the next thing.
Thank you.
I'd just like to give one nice experience. Once Baba asked, what's the difference between a yogi and one who practices yoga? And Baba is meaning here meditation, Raj Yoga, not a physical yoga, not Hatha Yoga. What's the difference between yogi and one who practices yoga? And Baba's answer was, yogi is the one who lives there and he comes here. And one who practices yoga, he lives here and goes there. He feels he is from this physical drama. That is his, I am a bit like Prashant, and this is me here. And then he creates 15 minutes for yoga. So he experiences his home, experiences God. 15 minutes. 15 minutes finish, he is back. He's practicing this so that will help him in his job, that will help his blood pressure, that will help him in relationships. That's why he practices yoga. So then he comes in the category, those who practice yoga. Yogi, he lives there and he comes here. He feels he is from that sky. That is his reality. That is his father. That is his home. That is, so the soul that is conscious, he feels he's from there. He has come here. He's always a guest here, always that traveler. He is very aware of his exit from here. He doesn't want to get stuck anywhere here. He may be here for 100 years, but he feels I'm a guest here. I have an exit, return journey. Then he's a yogi. The conscious soul is a yogi. So that is giving us a nice positioning. We all may have to go through the phase of practicing yoga. And we start from there. We start from the drama. But at some point, this milestone where we understand that has to wake up. The soul needs to wake up, and there's a life, different life. That the soul, conscious soul, he knows he belongs there. Not just a meditation. That is his home. Soul, that is truth. His truth. That is his family. Father, it is not his praying to God. He is from that family. And there is a worthiness belonging to that. It is all there. It is like a shift. We need to be prepared for that shift. And that soul is watching this. And he should feel it is absurd to think that is gross things of the Harry Potter is high. The temporary things of the drama, to get obsessed with it, to believe I can be here in this Corona club. Don't want to get stuck in this. This is the way the conscious soul sees. He doesn't want to get deceived in this. He doesn't measure his success achievements based on here. As a tourist, he's forever a tourist here. He's a yogi. Something for us to hold on to. We'll definitely underline some of these words for the next 3 days. That will help us to hold. Just we have to catch hold of one word, one expression that keeps us in that space. Bigger map. And then when you are dealing with this world here, physical world, let that invisible traveler deal with it. Like right now, Prashant is talking. Even whilst Prashant is talking, if there is attention, invisible traveler is watching all this, then we are in the about a line. We can have one more question or comment, and then maybe we can create time for rooms.
Sure. A question from Snehal. Which method is effective to get Paris knowledge and then master it through meditation? Or start with meditation and then slowly build up the Paris intellect? Does that make sense, the question?
Sure, sure. I would start with Paras because that brings the quality to everything that we are doing. And if you start with quality, then everything else is taken care of. This is a big emphasis. Baba's emphasis is quality. Not otherwise, lots of bhakti going on, but quality is compromised. They don't even speak about paras or intellect or straight away going into some practices. Here, first understand very clearly the best, go for the best. And maybe for 1 minute, but stay with quality. Quantity will take care of itself.
Useful slogan, thank you. There is a comment on that though. For beginners, Paris is not yet open, as this Harsha is saying. And to open Paris, we need meditation. Do you have any comments on that?
Open paras. Understand, paras is just means you are seeing the bigger map. Yeah, to draw sketch, the sketch that you are seeing there, to draw that, keep it in your main room. And that is paras perspective. We all have paras. We just have to use it. Just like we have got all muscles, whichever muscles you use, they become stronger. And so we have paras already. Meditation, and lots of people are practicing meditation. That meditation doesn't lead to paras. Only if you use paras, paras will become strong. The word meditation is very broad and it involves so many things.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you. So if we're going to go into rooms, would you like to suggest a subject to focus the discussion?
Becoming a yogi, to check and practicing yoga. What are we doing? That may be a very useful subject. What does it mean being a yogi? Who is? Prashant will not be a yogi. It is the soul that becomes the yogi. But it is a good subject to discuss and have some discrimination.
Thank you. Very nice. Fascinating subject. So in this breakout room, we will be inviting you to join a room if you're interested to participate. If someone would like to take the initiative to coordinate to allow everyone to have a chance to share, we'll meet back in around 10 minutes. If you're in the wrong room, you can just leave and type a note in the chat for your language group. So see you back soon. Thank you. Welcome back. So welcome back everyone from this adventure. going to share with you some reflective slides. Just want to check translation is working. I think we need Marina back on now. One moment. Yes, should be working. Excellent. So just to create some reflection from this session, you can watch a few slides. Thank you. So I'm going to see if we can hear from Sister Belinda, connecting this afternoon for her from South Africa. Welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello to everyone. We had a nice discussion in our group, and very encouraging, because souls were feeling that when there is less reaction in the story, it is a sign that the soul is waking up, and that Ravan's heads are actually shrinking. And this is also very encouraging for us. That one thought from this morning's session was about Ravan, that the really dangerous Ravan is the contented Ravan. Because I think that, we all would like to be free from the experience of sorrow, pain, and suffering. But when Ravan is content, in other words, all Ravan's needs are being met, it is more deceptive, because there are none of the usual alarm bells going off that go off when sorrow is experienced or some reaction in the story. Like a successful beggar will not think about leaving his successful career because it's so lucrative. It's a little bit like that a contented Ravan is happy to continue. But of course, it is impossible for Ravan to remain like that. Perhaps Ravan will be content with some relationships, some situations in the story. But at some point, that contented demon will show his other face, because his needs are not being met. So it was nice too to see how Ravan can emulate or imitate the effort maker. And so in both these examples, we see how it is possible to be in that state of ignorance, or be under a deception, an illusion, when you think you're doing all the right things. And so to check that it's not Ravan who's having a great meditation. And Prashant also mentioned that, Ravan can present this sweet face, that Ravan can be kind, can be sweet, have good manners, all the right things, but only because his needs are being met. And we don't know at what moment that turns into the demon, because drama is always unpredictable. And just because there's peace in Ravan's kingdom one moment doesn't necessarily mean that there will be in the next. And it's really in our interest to identify if Ravan is the imposter in my spiritual journey, and to recognize that. And we can recognize it because, as was said, Ravan is hopelessly selfish. And this is one of the signs that we can see. And of course, ego won't keep quiet about it. Ego likes to talk about being a good yogi and having great experiences. So we need that paras. Without paras, we cannot discern the fine line between a very clever Ravan and the true self, the conscious self. So it's just a few reflections. Thank you.
Thank you. Quite an image, the contented Ravan, but so helpful. If we like this authentic self, it's not a pretense, and it's such a relief, this congruency. And there's nothing superficial about it. If anyone would like to share your insights or even questions that have come up from the room discussion, Anayantara is commented, Ravan is helplessly selfish, as was commented, but it would be good to have that explained a bit more. And maybe you have other reflections, but it seems it's like a quick process. It's not that we stay analyzing Ravan, but it's a shift to a relief for the soul to be free from the burden that Ravan will have. So let's come back to Prashant. Welcome back.
Hi, Sarah. Just checking if you wanted to do the poll. Is that
Yes,
an intention?
it is. Thank you for the reminder. Many of you have used this before. It's a couple of questions, and the translators may need to just translate. We'll do the first one. The question: have you attended 10 sessions of the Sanjeevani retreat? It's very helpful for the team. Thank you for having a play with this. Your co-host, you won't be able to. Okay, so just share the results there. So 83% said yes. Thank you for that. There's another question you should see on your screen. Have you been to Madhavan, Mount Abu, Rajasthan? I think we're getting the hang of the poll now. So I see 70% of you have voted, so thank you, and we'll just share those results. 64% said yes. I know some are not able to fill in, but fine. Thank you.
Excellent. Finished here.
Welcome back, Prashant. Yes, finished.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So let us come back to just one more minute. And the minute is coming back to the soul, our aim is just to see the soul in the home. And aware of the story, aware of the drama at a distance. And we are seeing this presence, soul, in this expanse of light. Knowing that this dimension is timeless, beyond harm. Soul is immortal, the world is eternal. And he doesn't need to think of anything else. Thank you. So we will be using the board and just helping us to build on the ideas. For the next 24 hours. If we want to aim to stay in a higher state, this is all. Aim is very simple, modest aim, to stay in the higher state of consciousness whilst everything else is going on. And how do you define the higher state? More one is free, your state is higher, your consciousness is higher. More a person is in bondage, the consciousness is lower. So this world, for everyone, this entire physical world is an extraordinary gift. That's why we say it is amazing. The beginning is nice, end is nice, iron age is nice. Everything is, it's an extraordinary gift. Within it, there is a drama, there is a story, there is a play, but it is also a web. This whole thing is a web. 100% of sorrows in the world are because of this world. And so your intelligence is tested, how much you remain free from this web. Animals, birds that are not clever, they get deceived, they get trapped. So here, this web is there. Who anyone wants to come, yeah, it's a nice web here. And our challenge to remain free from this web. So if someone gets caught in this web and is at the lower end of the spiral, then it is the consciousness is lowest. Like say addictions, they are not only attached, but they are addicted. So it is like you are going in the deeper end of the deception. Lust is another big area, in a big way, the lower end of deception. So in different ways, when one is going at the lower end, then it is a drop of the consciousness. When you are moving in this direction, you are coming out of the web. So what can we do over the next 24 hours? Some simple things to play with. They all complement each other. One aim is right from the morning to create a time, maybe something like every hour, every 2 hours, create time when you are going for the best. Use Paras experience that what we started with today. See the expansion of the home, our true family. Be the yogi, the soul that is conscious, sees that reality, experiences worthiness to be with God, worthy to know God, worthy to be loved by God. This is not a long process. This is from today. We are waking up to that dimension of the soul. Reinforce it for a few minutes, and then its effect will last for the rest of the hour. So in Baba's words, remember the Father, highest on high Father, highest on high home, highest on high stage. So soul seeing that the reality. So these are the three words worth underlining when you are coming in that space. And when we are in the life going on, like right now, this is Prashant talking also, not just sitting somewhere talking. So this is going on. Whilst this is going on, the invisible guest is watching this drama. We need to nourish that. That is like a third person. Invisible soul is the invisible guest. He is the one who is the invisible traveler. He's seeing the drama. Drama remains drama always. Whether Prashant is acting or sitting, that is drama going on. And invisible traveler who is from the same world, he is the observer. So guest is also the traveler, is also the invisible observer. Experiment with this. Sometime create a practice where you are seeing the soul as an invisible driver. And let us experiment with this now in silence. So this body is the car of this driver. And the eyes are like the windows. And this invisible driver is seated behind these windows. So the focus now is not just on the outside world, but focus is in the center of the forehead, behind the eyes, where this invisible driver is seated. Invisible driver is the invisible soul, is also the invisible traveler. So wherever we are seeing something, some image, some colors. Who is making sense of this? It is the invisible driver who makes sense of what he is observing. Eyes just bring the impression. And who is making sense of the sound that we hear? It is the same invisible driver who makes sense of the sound. And who is making sense of the sensations of the body. It is the invisible driver. And this driver is seated behind these eyes. Invisible driver in the image of a tiny point. This is the driver, tiny point, but he is the conscious, he is the main one. The body is so big, driver is just like a star. We see all this with amazement. Invisible driver has his world beyond. He is not part of the car. That's why he is a guest in the car. He is very secure. The driver is very safe, very secure. Criticism of the car is not the criticism of the driver. The invisible driver knows even absence of the car is not the absence of the driver. Invisible driver is a guest in the car. All along we are paying attention to this tiny star, the invisible presence behind the eyes, from where he is using this car. And this driver has his world beyond. Driver is eternal. His world is eternal. We are giving attention. Our whole meditation, the whole of the emphasis is shining light. We are shining light. Our attention is like light. Shining light on this soul, this time in the image of a driver, that helps him to become conscious. When the soul is not conscious, the ego is the king. And ego sees the body as the driver. That is a confusion. The ego is projected on something. So the simple reminder, there is a driver seated behind his eyes, and this driver has his world beyond. Thank you. We can experiment with this, maybe say a few minutes and come back to it again. In various situations, some practices appear more easy, silently to be aware, maybe for 1 minute, that there is a soul seated behind his eyes. And one practice helps the other practice. So that's why we are using the word cluster of practices. You remember the home, that helps soul consciousness. You remain soul conscious, that helps knowing the Father. They all complement each other. Bottom line, our aim is to create light in the alokik dimension. So that is our program. There is an alokik dimension, This is the rich world, world of the father, world of the family, world of the true self, world of treasures. There's a home, there's a blackout. We are taking on the challenge to create light, not just for ourselves, to create light so that whole world they can see that truth. And our challenge is we want to break the spell. It is we see it as absurd that all these souls they are like bats upside down, caught in the Harry Potter fighting and you know totally unlike their character. The answer that we see is not to solve the story, to change the script. Answer we see is light. First, let us all see that situation in light. Let ourselves, everyone, see the truth. And then let us see if we still need to be fighting or quarreling, how we should approach that story. Let us see that afterwards. So we are talking about the essence, what the aim is, and the details, different practices. So over the next 2-3 days, we will be approaching it. The aim is very clear, approaching it from many angles. Any final thoughts you would like to share? And are you all happy to keep this as a 3-day festival, not just a few hours each day, but 3 days? Let it gather a momentum.
Yes, very happy with that. Word festival, the constant silent celebration. And one comment from Pallavi, she wants to know why the light is changing the aura from white to orange. Any comments on aura?
Not the specialist, yes, but and there are different colors, yeah, and also different experiences may have connection.
Excellent. And we will post a slide. We will have a short drill with Bapdada, and after that there will be a slide with the link to recordings from the session this weekend. There'll be one G drive for all the recordings, and also we'll post it in the chat. So lots of gratitude and appreciation for this festival ongoing to support this awakening. So Prashant, do you want to share any final reflections before we continue with the drill?
Yes, the homework we spoke, and meet tomorrow.
Okay, very good. And yes, thanks to the translation teams. And enjoy this drill together.